My dear students, welcome to English online classes. For our first year syllabus, we have two books. First one is text, that is related to text. Next one is concerned with grammar, composition, and comprehension. It is related to grammar, composition, and comprehension. So here these two books, grammar, text and another one, reflections, English textbook for first year, and articulation, it is for grammar. So each here reflections and articulations text, it is of 50 marks, and the next grammar is of 50 marks. It means text covers 50 marks and that grammar, composition and comprehension covers 50 marks. Now we will discuss regarding the distribution of marks and syllabus of first PU in detail. Text questions part. So first 22 questions. First 22 questions is of first 23 questions of text related. It means 1 mark questions. First 1 mark questions. 1 mark questions, it is mentioned, that is total 12 marks. 1 mark questions, number of questions 12. We have to attend all the questions, total marks 12. Here we have to answer to the given question in a word, in a phrase, or in a sentence. Next 4 mark questions. Total questions will be 10. Out of 10 we have to write 8. 4 marks, 8 questions. 8 questions. So it is of 32 marks, provided the one condition is there, out of 8 at least 2 questions from poetry. And next 6 mark questions, there will be 3 questions, we have to write 1, and the total it is 6 marks. So 6 mark questions, we have to write 1, it is of 6. So it is of 50 marks. That is concerned with the text. It means we will have 1 mark questions, 4 mark questions, and 6 mark questions. That is concerned with the text. That is called reflections. Now come to the point of articulations, grammar, composition, and comprehension. First we will see the topics, the syllabus of first PU. Grammar part. First it is of passage. Question number from 24 to 33. We will get 10 questions and we have to attend all the questions. Total marks is 10. Next articles and prepositions. Next topic is articles and prepositions. Question number 34. 1 question will be there. In that given question 4 blanks will be there. We have to write or appropriate articles and prepositions in the given block blanks. So we will get 4 marks there. This topic carries 4 marks. Passage covers 10 marks. Suitable form of verb. The suitable form of verb we have to use from the given. So question number 35. Number of questions 1 and 4 blanks will be there. Total 4 marks. Next subject to verb agreement. Number of questions 36. So question number it is 36. Number of questions 1 and 3 blanks will be there and 3 marks. Correction of sentences. 2 questions will be there. We have to write 2 answers and we will get 2 marks. So here passage type, articles and prepositions, suitable form of the verb, subject verb agreement, correction of sentences. The next. Then 5th E, rewrite as directed. There we study for 1 mark. These are for 1 mark. Question number 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Homophones. Question number 39. one question, 1 mark. Word class type 40, question number 40, number of questions 1 will get 1 mark. Word order 42, question number 42, and one question we have to will get 1 mark. And question tag, so 42, 1 mark. Do form questions, using do forms we have to frame questions. So question number 43, it is for 1 mark, and framing WH questions, it is for 1 mark. So do as directed, it is for 6 marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Homophones, word class, word order, question tag, do form, framing WH questions. Okay, next type. Here reference skills. Next type of question is reference skills. Reference skills in the sense interpretation of advertisements and schedules. Question number 45, number of questions 4 will get 4 marks. Letter writing, 46th question. So one letter writing is there and will get 5 marks. Language functions or match the followings will come. Question number 47, one question, 5 points will be there and we have to match all those 5 points, will get 5 marks. Completion of dialogue, it is a guided dialogue. Guided dialogue means only blanks will be given, we have to answer in the blanks. Okay, so 48th question, that is one question, 4 blanks will be there and you will get 4 marks by filling 4 blanks. And last one, dialogue writing, it is 49th question, there is one question, it is of 3 marks. So it is the 49th. See what are all the topics here. First one, passage, articles, suitable form of verb, subject verb agreement, correction of sentence. Next, homophones, word class, word power, question tag, word order, word question tag, do form, framing WH questions. Next, reference skills, interpretation of advertisements and schedules, letter writing, language functions, completion of dialogue and dialogue writing. This dialogue writing. Okay, so altogether it becomes 50 marks. So 50 text and 50 grammar. So total 100 marks paper. Okay. Dear students, today we will begin with a text. We'll start with text. First we will complete 2 lessons and 2 poems. Then later we'll start grammar one by one. So text, that is the reflections, and we'll move to the first lesson, that is the gentleman of the jungle. Topic title is the gentleman of the jungle. Gentleman of the jungle. Jungle. Jomo Kenyatta, written by Jomo Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta, an African writer. First, topic, which is written by Jomo Kenyatta, the gentleman of the jungle. The first question, do we find the gentleman in jungle? First question. Okay. Animals, if we see from distance, we may feel that forest is very beautiful and animals also. But when we go very close, they show their beastly attitude and they are meant for that only. Here, finding gentlemen in the jungle, it is very difficult. Here, the title, gentleman, how do you define? A gentleman. What are the qualities of a gentleman? Kind, passionate, compassionate, well mannered, well judged, cultured, balanced, emotionally balanced. So, what is the complete personality? Gentleman. Here, not gentleman is not possible based on the appearance. So, definition of a gentleman is completely depending upon his ideas, his attitude, and his inner sense, and his feel towards the society, and his complete thinking process. Okay, the gentleman. And now we will see about the writer, about this writer, Jomo Kenyatta. Here, Jomo Kenyatta, lifespan 1893, it is mentioned 1893, question mark is there, and 1978. So, born in the year 1893, question mark is there because it is not sure. So, not exactly known, that is why that is question mark mentioned, and died in the year 1978. He was an African political leader, the first rank leader of the African national movement, and as well as political leader. I think you know African nations were influenced by India, and in what manner, in the sense to attain freedom, to get independence. African political leader, first president of Kenya, and Jomo Kenyatta, he was the first president of Kenya. Duration it is tenure 64 to 78. A Kikuyu, the tribal group, it is tribal group, Kikuyu. A Kikuyu, he was one of the earliest and best known African nationalist leaders. Okay, nationalism principles were taken by this national leader. As secretary of the tribal association in the year 1928, secretary of the tribal association, he campaigned for land reform and African political rights. So, here we read about this Jomo Kenyatta. He was a first rank a freedom fighter, here African political leader, a nationalist, and he campaigned for land reform and African political rights. It is about the writer. Now, here in this topic, what do we consider? Here, the gentleman of the jungle, the first thing, an act of kindness is misunderstood as weakness. An act of kindness is misunderstood as weakness, here misunderstood as weakness. Next, peace, importance of peace. Only the peaceful mind prospers, peaceful land prospers. Like this, peace, freedom. These are very important aspects. Without these we cannot. Peace is costly. Peace is costlier. And we talk about freedom in this context. Before reading the topic, introduction of the topic is given. We will go through this introduction. In the late 19th century, the chief European powers divided Africa among themselves. Here, European powers divided Africa. The African land was divided amongst themselves. It means if you correlate with India, many Europeans came. First the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, the English, the same in Africa also. They fought amongst themselves and they fought with native rulers and they established their hegemony or their power, their supremacy, and they made all these countries as their colonies, and the colonies were meant to supply raw materials and became the ready-made marketplace to sell their products. So it means they used, it means European powers, they divided Africa among themselves, the complete division of Africa amongst themselves. What was the reason they could do this? They divided Africa only because of European arms were superior. Army of America, sorry, army of Europe, European forces, European arms were very superior to European countries, and because the African leaders, chiefs, didn't understand the meaning of treaties, and these European nations, they came with new treaties or agreements, and Africans were forced to sign those treaties. They signed without understanding what actually they said. What actually they said? They didn't understand anything. Simply they signed those treaties. According to the treaties, Europeans, they lost their lands to these Europeans. The lands to these Europe, they had traditionally lost their lands. They had traditionally lived on and cultivated, on which land they used to cultivate, they used to earn their livelihood, and they traditionally lived on. They lost that land. Their attitude towards European expansion, their attitude means what is the meaning of attitude? The way of thinking and the way of our action. Attitude, their attitude toward European expansion, that is European expansion, is made clear in this following fable. What we read in this story, fable in the sense, fable means a short story where animals are used as the important characters, as we have Panchatantra. The same, it is a fable, it is a short story where animals are used in different characters, which reflects the attitude of Kikuyu people of Kenya, toward European laws and commissions, committees, laws, regulations, all these different aspects were made by these Europeans to control their colonies and to impose their law, language, culture, industry, education on their colonies. So in this context we read the same. Here one word is there, expansion. Expansion in the sense expanding. There is another one ism is called expansionism. Expanding their geographical territory, their education, their industry, their language, their culture, all these come under expansionism. And here fable in the sense, it means a short story. So in the late 19th century, the chief European powers divided Africa among themselves. They could do this because European arms were superior and because the African chiefs didn't understand the meaning of the treaties they were asked to sign. As a result, Africans lost the lands they had traditionally lived on and cultivated. Their attitude toward European expansion is made clear in the following fable, which reflects the attitude of the Kikuyu people of Kenya toward European laws and commissions. Different laws and different commissions. Okay, now we'll read this story. As usual, all the stories, fables start with the word that is once upon a time. Usually we have heard many more stories from our elders. All they used to start with once upon a time there was a king, we used to say, our grandparents used to say. The same it is. This Jomo Kenyatta, he is telling the same in his own writing style. communicating how expansionism takes place on innocent lands, innocent people. Okay, now see here. Once upon a time, an elephant made a friendship with a man. One day, a heavy thunderstorm broke out. The elephant went to his friend, who had a little hut at the edge of the forest, and said to him, "My dear good man, will you please let me put my trunk inside your hut to keep it out of this torrential rain?" Here, in this paragraph, we'll come to know regarding the friendship between an elephant and a man. There is a friendship between an elephant and a man. And some words are there here. Thunderstorm. What is the meaning of thunderstorm? Thunderstorm. Storm with thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning. Okay, heavy rainfall with thunder storm. It means very heavy rainfall with thunder and lightning. Such type of rainfall occurs in the months of April, May usually, with thunder and lightning, heavy rainfall with gushing wind. It takes place. Okay, it is thunderstorm. And then another one, torrential. Here, torrential. 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 Torrential in the sense downpour of rain. It's a downpour. Downpour. Heavy rainfall. Torrential. Heavily falling down. Downpour. Torrential. It is called. Okay. Downpour of rain. It's concerned with rain. Now see here. Once upon a time, an elephant made a friendship with a man. These two, elephant and man. An elephant and a man made a friendship. One day, a heavy thunderstorm, heavy rainfall with thunder and lightning broke out. Means started. The elephant went to his friend. Suddenly, the elephant remembered his friend, that is a man who had a little hut at the edge of the forest. The man had a little hut at the edge of the forest. At the edge of the forest in the sense, by the end of the forest, by the side of the forest you may say. So, that man who had a little hut at the edge of the forest, by the end of the forest. And that elephant said to him, and elephant told him that, "My dear good man," it requested like anything there, "My dear good man, will you please let me put my trunk inside your hut?" It is asking, it is requesting like anything, because in that heavy rainfall it couldn't withstand. Hence, "Will you please let me put my trunk inside? Will you please allow me to put my trunk inside of your hut? Will you allow me your hut to keep it out of this torrential rain, of this heavy downpouring rain? I cannot withstand, I cannot control, I am very delicate. So please allow me to keep my trunk inside your hut. Please allow me." So that elephant is requesting that man, his friend. Okay, in that forest, in the first paragraph, here we came to know about there was a friendship between man and an elephant, and on one fine day there started that thunderstorm broke out, and suddenly that elephant went to his friend and asked the help to keep its trunk inside the hut, because it couldn't withstand that torrential rain, not possible to control. Then suddenly, by seeing the condition or the situation or the state of that elephant, his friend. Then he said these things. The man, seeing what situation his friend was in, actually in what situation his friend was in, his friend was in not, he was not in good situation. He is not in pleasant situation, disturbed situation. My dear good elephant, my dear good elephant, my dear good man, see here in first paragraph, see here in second one, my dear good elephant, my dear good man, my dear good elephant. So, my hut is very small, he said, my hut is very small, but there is room for your trunk and myself. Okay, here there is a room for your trunk, said, you can lay down your trunk inside my hut, though it is very small. There is room for, there is place, there is space for your trunk, there is place for your trunk. Of course, it is very small. And myself, please put your trunk in gently, softly, slowly. Okay, please lay down, please put your trunk inside. So, man said, suddenly that man, by seeing the situation of the elephant, he felt very sad because his friend was not in pleasant situation and replied, my dear good elephant, of course my hut is very small, but there is a room for your trunk, there is a place and space for your trunk and myself, and put your trunk gently, put your trunk gently here, softly and said. The elephant thanked his friend, the elephant thanked his friend, saying, you have done me a good deed, you have done me a good deed. Deed means work, a good work. Here, good deed, action. And one day, see this one, remember the statement, one day I shall return your kindness. I shall return your kindness, said. That elephant said. Here we have to read the mindset of the man and the attitude of the elephant. Here, already you know the clear picture about the man and that elephant, and it said, thanked. Elephant said, okay, thank you, and said, you have done me a good deed, good work, good help, and one day or other day I shall return your kindness. One day or other day I will return your kindness. Okay, it expressed being very happy. But what followed? But what followed? See here. But as soon as the elephant put his trunk inside hut, slowly he pushed his head inside. Slowly he put his head inside and finally flung the man out and in the rain, and flung the man out in the rain and then lay down comfortably inside his friend's hut, said once again, my dear good friend, your skin is harder than mine, and as there is not enough room for both of us, you can afford to remain in the rain while I am protecting my delicate skin from the hailstorm. The hailstorm. Hailstorm. Hailstorm means pellets of ice, they fall while raining, pellets of ice. They fall while raining, or with rain you may call. Here, hailstorm. Children, they collect these hailstorms while raining, going out and collecting all these things. Okay? But what followed? What had happened? See this one. Here, being happy, that elephant promised the man, one day I shall return your kindness. But what followed? See the next. As soon as the elephant put his trunk inside the hut, slowly the encroachment started, expansionism started, increasing their territory. Here, slowly it pushed his head, slowly it pushed it. Not already it had laid its trunk, now pushing its head inside. Finally, it got into the hut and flung the man in the rain. Flung, it's past form, fling. Flung. Fling means to throw. Here, suddenly, here, throwing it is. Okay, fling the man out in the rain and then lay down comfortably inside his friend's hut. And comfortably, it had settled down in the hut of that man, and man was standing in the rain. He was standing in the rain. It is exactly opposite of the first paragraph. Man was in the hut, elephant was in the rain. Now the elephant is in the hut, man is in the rain. Okay, see here. This is called encroachment, expansion, laws, commissions, all these. And saying, finally it said, my dear good friend, your skin is harder than mine. See how it communicates. It expresses its feel or attitude. We see here, while discussing the introduction of this topic, attitude. Here, your skin is harder than mine. I cannot withstand, but you can. Side. And as there is not enough room, here room means enough place, because it's a small hut, enough space for both of us. We cannot stay togetherly over here because it is very small. You can afford to remain, you can comfortable to remain in the rain. You can feel very happy. You are very comfortable and affordable to stay in the rain, to stand in the rain. But I cannot, because I am very delicate. My skin is here very delicate. Your skin is harder than mine size. So you can afford to remain in the rain while I am protecting my delicate skin from the pellets of ice pieces. The pellets of ice pieces. See here, the situation totally reversed. Okay, the one who was asking the help, the one who came over there to ask the help, now he has changed everything. So here, this is called expansionism. How the elephant encroached into that little hut which was built by man. Okay, now students, once again I will read, listen carefully. Once upon a time, an elephant made a friendship with a man. One day a heavy thunderstorm broke out. The elephant went to his friend who had a little hut at the edge of the forest and said to him, my dear good man, will you please let me put my trunk inside your hut to keep it out of this torrential rain? Next, the man, seeing what situation his friend was in, replied, my dear good elephant, my hut is very small, but there is room for your trunk and myself. Please put your trunk in gently. The elephant thanked his friend, saying, you have done me a good deed, and one day I shall return your kindness. But what followed? As soon as the elephant put his trunk inside the hut, slowly it pushed his head inside and finally thrown the man out in the rain, and then lay down comfortably inside his friend's hut, saying, my dear good friend, your skin is harder than mine, and as there is not enough room for both of us, you can afford to remain in the rain while I am protecting my delicate skin from the hailstorm. Pellets of ice pieces. See here, new words, thunderstorm, at the edge, by the end of the forest, or by the side of the forest. Torrential rain means downpouring rain. And then it is next, flung is a fast form of fling, to throw. Next, it is hailstorm, the pellets of ice species. Okay. So till this we completed today, and in our next class I will continue its continued part. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.